All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Just looking at the people next to me. Was there people that I healed? No, it's someone else. Somebody else with green hair. At least I think it is. Let me heal these people. Maybe it wasn't. I noticed them in the store and I healed them. I healed them again because they came up next to me in the parking lot. So they're hoonigan. They probably don't like me because I got a thin blue line thing and they're kind of young and you got long hair, She's either Hispanic or Native or both. But, I still heal them. They have to find God. They can't find God if you don't heal him. I mean, you all F them off in the church and you think that's going to bring them closer to God, I guess. I mean, you're God, I guess, Satan. They cursed me while I was in the school. So again, I can't rate the Walmart itself up, but their employees got healed. What you're doing is you're putting yourself in bondage to the devils to be like the devils. If you'd stop killing people like me, we could take you up for being good. Remember, a lot of Christians and religious people are useful to Satan because they'll tell the story, the fib, the lie. You just aren't good enough to be like us, right? That's the game they play. Because you're not holy, you're not healed, you're not wonderful. So I told you to get Trump out there praying yesterday. It's a one-line prayer, two-line prayer. That's all he had to do. I mean, it went over like people were like, somebody's blocking my stuff. Find out who they are and take them out. I'm speaking to the government at that point, right? Well, what government might be left? I don't know if any is left. Right? But we have to go. The country has to go from point A to point B, and I'll help you. But I don't know if you're okay or not. Right. Well, the issue is in California, as far as ICE goes, it's not friendly territory to prosecute a case, but it could be. It just depends on who gets on the jury. Right? But that's what's needed. You're going to have to prosecute a case for like some real serious charges, and get it done. Okay? But if they get off the hook, then you're going to have trouble. So again, double-edged sword, or catch-22. Well, they have to stop following you. If an ICE task force member is off duty in the hotel, then that's personal, and that's stalking, and that's the charges for them coming against an officer. They're using their phones to connect and talk to one another and plan these things, conspiracy, to commit the stalking and impeding an officer. There's something a little further, assault on an officer, I guess. I got to look at the charges again. In interstate commerce, right? I think that's how. So again, you can charge them, but the question is whether you'll get a conviction. Well, they can't. They can't be going after people when they're off duty. And again, you need to try to do that. So if you rent a house, what should happen is, again, it'll bring in new people. So the judge could detain them, but I don't know if you'll get a judge in California to do it or not. Well, Trump pardoned the guy that had Silk Road or whatever it was. I think that's the one it was. Well, it doesn't bid well for well, because the app. Are you responsible for your app? Elon would say no, but of course, to a certain degree, they are. Right. Well, because obviously there's somebody on that app that's probably planning to commit a crime against ICE people, or at least articulating a conspiracy or something. I know it's happening. It's just question is whether it's you find it or and then is it worth charging? Right. Well, if you're speaking on about keeping ICE people up at night, that's a conspiracy to commit a federal felony. Right. Right there. I mean, you don't have to do anything else. But if you're on that app doing it, then the app's part of it. Right. I don't know if you can do a criminal. If there, again, yeah, there. I guess you could. There's a for this other thing. There's a fine line between what you're allowed to do and impeding. But again, if you're in California, are you going to be able to prosecute? It only takes one juror, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that probably want California saved, and you would be living in probably in their housing developments if you do what I say. Right. Agreed. Well, are you going to be there for a year? Yes. Get a year lease. Now, as far as a big building, that might be too centralized. Right. They'll eventually probably figure out where you live, but if you're in a gated community, they can't sit at that gated community. What I would do is find a gated community where the judges live and then move in. And then when these protesters come up and bother the judges, they'll want them arrested and brought to court. Right. So those are some. I don't know if those are real listings or not, but theoretically they are. So you could actually find something cheaper, but even that price is probably cheaper than you're paying for those rooms for 4 or 5 people. Right? You get a couple beds. That's all you need in there. You got the washer and dryer was in there. Uh, you get a few beds. This dude, some dude sitting on his head. He got LA on his head. This my neighbor has guests over. So what you would do is you can just order some beds. I mean, for a year, you're definitely going to save money. You're definitely going to save money because your washer and dryer is in the apartment or in the house. Oh wait, so am I being heard? Okay. So the washer and dryer is in the house. Thank you. So you'll be able to do your washing there. Be safer and then also at your convenience, much more at your convenience. We agree, sir. And then being in a gated community, you gotta check it out because some security at gated communities don't work well. And it could just be a scam kind of thing, get to lure people in. You could actually end up coming again. Right. How you doing? Great, sir. Like the people that hate me hate when I do that. How you doing? Oh, he's grooming people. Why is he saying how you doing? He's trying to groom people with it. Anything they don't like about me, they say is grooming. All right. Yeah, I'm waiting for some Amazon. Amazon. Say it like you mean it. Macron. Amazon. Thanks, Larry. Thank you, Larry. You'll save a lot of money. I actually, if you're paying anything close to 3, which you could be because it's California, and you could be paying 3 in some of those rooms I saw. I don't know what they're extending to you, but I imagine it's at least $2,000. I mean, and you're not in Kansas when you're out there. I think Kansas is even getting up there a little bit. So if you rent a house, you'll be able to put quite a few people. You might even you may be able to use, like, if it has a family room with a door or something like that, you may be able to put somebody in there too. Right. Again, some of those had like three bathrooms and stuff, 3.5 bathrooms. I mean, that's right. 80. I guess we got, you have the utilities, I guess, but that might be high in California. I didn't actually factor that in. Like I said, you'll probably find something a little cheaper. And the question is, will they rent it to you? They know you're good for the money. Like, if you find the right kind of people, they'll love to have you in there. And the government's good for the money, right? And then when you move out, they can claim it. If something is messed up, they'll claim it and you'll pay it. Right? They know that. You might find an investor that'll want to work with you. If you rent 4 or 5 of his houses, right? Agreed. Because they'll have, he or she will have houses, or the group. It could be a group, investing group. They'll have houses spread out throughout the city, so that'll work for you. Get out of those hotels, right? Eventually, they'll figure out where you're at, but there's a lot less they could do. Especially if you move out of LA into like Northridge. I think it's out of LA. I'm just not sure. That one was in Northridge or something. You're probably going to be there for at least a year. I don't think they can stop immigration operation. I mean, obviously Biden screwed it up and didn't do what he was supposed to do. And then, of course, we go back to the Trump administration also missed some of it. But again, that was kind of a rocky road there. Right. There's a lot of, the Mueller thing and all that going on. It was just very difficult to get anywhere. But your people killed me. I still stand by that. Your people might be killing me now. So you need to find out who they are. Right. They can't get anywhere without me, believe me. 100%. You're spinning your wheels. You're wasting your time. Right. Burning your energy. Right. Where it doesn't need to be. Yeah, this drain hose doesn't work either at all. Try it again. No idea. I got to order a drain hose, and the one I ordered is no longer for sale, and that's one of the things they do sometimes. And I can't believe it got cracked. It's because I took it from behind the washer and dryer when he came in to inspect and make sure everything was clean and everything. And I ended up stepping on it. I want this, and this one actually didn't fit. I had to put a fitting on it. That I put a little rubber piece I had, and I'm probably not going to be able to do that again. Especially so close to moving out. It sounds like it's draining now. I have no idea. It must have some weird. It has some weird suction thing that works. The pump can what is it called? Cavitate. Making sure. Yeah, it cavitates for some reason. Well, how does that happen? Is it celluloid? Restrictions in flow plan. So it's a narrower hose. It still has the problem even with a wider hose, but That's what it's got to be cab. It's from restriction of the flow. Well, that's the size hose it came with. So something's wrong with the pump. Right, but I bought a wider hose on purpose. So I'm not sure.